Alright guys, I'm going to show you this Ertl Chevy Titan cab tanker truck, BP. I've had this for an extremely long time. I bought this and a Napa truck from one of my friends I referred to in other videos, Tonka Collector. He got word that a guy that had a ton of Hess trucks was selling them all out, and he was basically selling all kind of stuff that he had bought through the years to eventually resell. So what he would do, he would buy these pressed steel trucks and he wrapped them in saran wrap to protect them, which I guess is a pretty good idea. I'm assuming it's not sticking to the truck. I may need to cut it off, but I never have. I've had these about this one, and I got a Napa something. I'll go dig it out eventually and do a video shortly. But a Napa, I think it's a Explorer or a Jeep with something else, like a boat or something. But I'll go dig it out, and because I think I know where it's at. It's sitting on top of a shelf, buried on the very tip top. I'm not as big a fan of that truck as this one. So here's the deal. So my friend goes, and this had to be 5 years ago, maybe 6. And he goes to buy all these Hess trucks. Now he knew nothing about Hess trucks, this is not a dig on anybody. I mean, no offense to anyone, because I'm not the expert. But like everything else, if you think back in the 90s, I bought my son baseball cards just for fun. I'd buy the whole case of the season and we put them in notebooks, and he still has them. They're absolutely worth nothing because so many people were buying them and sticking them in the hole, hoping that there's going to be worth something years later. Because I want to say that happened at the same time that I can't remember the dude's name. One of the rare baseball cards in existence. I think it was a Pittsburgh Pirate player, and he had a handlebar mustache on. Some kid found it, and it was, I can't remember, it was close to $1 million or something. So everybody starts buying baseball cards to stick them in a hole to, retire in 30 years. Well, now they're just everywhere. I mean, there's that one video where these kids would go into an empty building. I think it was in Florida. I really don't recall exactly where, but it actually made the news because they found pallets of baseball cards that were dumped. And there was all the 90s era. So, I mean, they were dumped for a reason because nobody wanted them. I have a friend who wheels and deals in sports memorabilia, and he would literally give people, like kids would come into a shop, and he had all that era baseball cards, and he'd reach in and just give them like 10, 15 cards for free because nobody was buying them. There was a few in there that I'm sure were valuable, era cards and all that, but for the most part, they're not worth anything. So after all that rambling, and again, my opinion, and here's something else about that. I had another friend came over because I had a bunch of old football cards from the 70s, primarily Atlanta Falcons, and I can't find where I stuck them. They're here somewhere. And he tried to buy, I figured he'd want the baseball cards because that's what he will and dealed in. He didn't even want any of them. And he, in fact, offered me a box of them for like $5, and it was a huge box. I said, I don't need them. So anyway, he tried to buy the football cards. So I said, well, no, I'm gonna hang on to them because I prefer football over any other sport. So anyway, getting back to the story. So my friend gets the lead that this guy had all these Hess trucks, and he said they had cases of them, and they were old. So he goes over there and he buys a ton of that man's inventory, and they were in the Hess cardboard boxes. I can't remember how many was in a box. And then he also bought a bunch of Ertls that he had, and I think he had some Nylants too. A couple of them he had, I think that both of them were Nylants, he held on to because he had them as a kid, and they weren't in the box, but they were in excellent shape. And I can't remember, one of them was a cattle van, and I have that cattle van video of one I have. and I cannot remember. I think the other one was the futuristic. Looked like a computer motif on the van. I can't remember what exactly it was, but I never liked it. But he kept that one too, because he had that one as a kid. So he sold me this and the Napa one. So I paid him $10 for both of them because he didn't want them. He didn't think there was any value to them. So I paid him $10 for both of them, $5 a piece, and stuck them on the shelf. So let's check it out. So you see Ertl, Chevy Titan, truck, and tanker. And spin it around on the end. There's the end. And it still has an Ertl factory sticker there, stock number 3164. And I got a feeling that they may have had different versions of a BP tanker. I'm not exactly sure because it's a BP box. Maybe they had a different version that they offered as well. I don't know. Then it says authentic mud flaps and access ladder. I've never had it out of the box, so I'm assuming it's like that. So this part's plastic, but everything else is metal. Of course, you got the plastic stack and the roof rack, the gears. The fuel tank is black. I'm more familiar with them being chrome on all my other stuff from Ertl, or painted silver. And on the back, authentic tanker includes mud flaps and access ladder, fully detailed cab interior, floating tandem rear. Oh man, that's pretty cool. Floating tandem rear axle, rugged steel construction, child safe baked enamel. And it says something you'll never see again probably. Ertl Company, Dyersville, Iowa. Oh, it doesn't say made in USA, but I think it is. Subsidiary of Walter Kitty Company. And it's got, you know, what do you call it? Turnpike or pay roads, whatever you want to call them. I think they're rip-offs. And the bottom, it does say made in USA. Right there. And it gives you under the license of Chevrolet Motor Division by Ertl, and you've got the patent part number and also a handwritten price of $21. So makes me wonder two things. One, was this sold at BP stations originally and somebody at the station wrote $21 on it, or did somebody else who had this was trying to sell it for $21, or did the guy that my friend got it from want $21 from it originally? All right, so that's a brand new, old stock Ertl BP tanker. That's awesome. I mean, that is just totally awesome. All right, gang, I'm gonna go hunt down the Napa one and run a quick video on that one. I'll have a great day.